Is the Apple Watch Ultra 2 really worth $800, or should you just get a Series 9? Well, today we're going to compare everything from the designs, the displays, comfort, exclusive features, and even things like the microphones and the speakers. And I think you guys will actually be quite surprised by some of the differences. Now, getting into the packaging, you guys could see that the Ultra gives you a nice big package here. If we open it up, Apple did a really nice job. On the outside, it looks very neutral, but in the inside, you get this nice, adventurous print. Nice. We have a really nice booklet that they probably spent a lot of money on, showing you all the little features there. And then we have the separate packaging. Now, this thing comes with a different kind of loop. I'm going to scoot this aside and let me show you the Series 9. Now, this also has some nice prints on the inside, but everything's a little bit smaller. Now, I gotta say, I've always been a fan of this design, and here I have the midnight color, and to me, this seems quite small, even though it is a 45 millimeter, just because I've worn the Ultra for a year, and I got a lot of kind of feedback for you guys for the Ultra there. Now, pulling out the charging cable, this year, even the regular one comes with a nice braided cable. And then if I pull the puck out here, you do get a nicer aluminum one instead of a plastic. So that is actually a nice little detail. Now, as far as the band, I just have the regular one here. Let's go ahead and open it up. And this is also a midnight. Now, Apple made this whole product carbon neutral, and this actually maybe feels a little nicer than the one last year. Let me go ahead and clip this on and see how it pairs up. Now, with the Series 9, you have a choice of 5 different colors, including the new pink color that I thought my daughter would absolutely love. Whereas with the Ultra, we still have just one color, natural titanium. So it literally looks identical to last year's, but the great thing is that it is very, very resistant to scratches, and if you get something, you're not going to notice it like you do with the regular Apple Watches. Take a look at this footage of my wife's and my son's aluminum Apple Watches. They get gashed and scratched like crazy. They do not stand up very well. Now, if you get the stainless steel, like I've purchased in the past, well, that holds up way better. It does get some scratches, but of course that costs so much money. Now, with the Ultra, after a year, mine still look brand new, and so that is a really big selling point. Now, let me pull out this Alpine loop right here. This year I got the color that I actually wanted, and these are designed for the Ultra. They are more sporty, and you have this hook right here. So once you tighten up the actual band itself and put the hook in, this thing is not going anywhere. Now, of course, there's also the Ocean Band and the Trail one, but none of them really have a premium or a classy look. Now, regardless of whether you're upgrading to a new Apple Watch or not, the band is what shows off your personality and style the most. So what I have here are the most popular bands from our sponsor Nomad Goods, including their sport band with its rugged look, as well as their really nice premium genuine leather bands for that classy look, and finally, all-out luxury with their titanium band, which perfectly matches the Ultra 2. So go ahead and order a Nomad band today by using the links in the description below. Now, the first big difference that you notice is the weight. We have 38.8 grams compared to 61.4. And man, that weight is there. Now, I will say, after wearing the Ultra for 3-4 days, you just get used to it. So if you get used to it, that's not that big of a difference. But if you have a smaller wrist or if you're smaller framed, that could make a difference even compared to a 45 millimeter Series 9. And the other thing you'll notice is the thickness. You guys can see that the Ultra 2 is so much thicker than the Series 9. It is a huge difference, and even the sensors underneath stick out more so. Now, this is one thing that I kind of got used to, but not completely, because with this huge thing, you will hit things, it sticks out more, and even sleeping for sleep tracking, it is nowhere near as comfortable as the Series 9. So I pretty much stopped using the sleep tracking function just because of comfort, where with the regular Apple Watch, it feels great and you almost don't feel it there at all. And with the Ultra 2, I have actually scratched different things because of these really sharp edges. For example, I showed off last year, it literally shreds off your fingernail. If you have an object like an iPhone, it literally scratches the back of this metal. Whereas the Series 9, it is smooth. It's not going to cause any damage to anything else, even though it can be damaged. Whereas the Ultra is super durable, but it can cause some actual damage. So it's kind of an interesting thing there. Now, on a positive note, one thing I love about the Ultra is the fact that you have this crown guard. With the regular Apple Watches, I often found myself accidentally turning on Siri by pushing on this crown that's exposed. And so that can be a little bit annoying at times, but this crown guard helps to keep that from happening. Both of the watches have the same button crown layouts, so you have two here and two here, but the Ultra has it poking out a little bit, and that could definitely help if you're wearing gloves for different sporting kind of scenarios. And the haptics in the Ultra are also a lot stronger. I would say maybe triple the power because of the better motor inside. So that is a nice boost. And then on the left-hand side, we have the action button on the Ultra. And by default, I have it set to workout right now, but you can actually change that. We have that workout, stopwatch, waypoint, backtrack, dive, flashlight, and you can actually use a shortcut. And I will say that that has been really nice to have. Now, if you press and hold down on that, you can actually get the siren. And this thing gets incredibly loud. And I think Apple said, what, 600 feet away you can hear it?
Yeah, crazy.
Something crazy. And with that siren, you also get dual GPS built in, and that is really nice because with my kids' Apple Watches, sometimes it will just give me this big circle and I don't know where my daughter is at, or it will actually show it in another spot and then it'll bounce around. So dual GPS gives you much better accuracy. The Ultra 2 also gets a water temperature sensor, a depth gauge, and a dive computer app, which is really cool, but I don't use that. And the waterproofing is way better as well. It has military grade standards, but let's be honest, most people aren't buying it for that. They are buying it for the look, and they are buying it for the battery life. The battery in the Ultra is much bigger, and because of that, instead of getting 18 hours of battery life rated, you get 36, and then also in the low power mode, it is way higher as well. And in my previous testing, the Ultra could get me up to 3 days of battery life in normal usage compared to just 1 day. Now, how does that make sense if the battery isn't triple the size? Well, a lot of the same tasks that it has to run in the background, they stay the same. So you just get way better battery life. And that's not only important right when you're buying it, because you could say, hey, all day battery life is enough. But once you've had it for a year or two, like my previous Apple Watches, the battery capacity goes down, and I've had it where the Apple Watch didn't even last me all day and I have to charge it before the day is over. So with the Ultra, you could be confident that 2 years later, 3 years later, you're still gonna have excellent battery life. Now you may have noticed that the Ultra has a lot more little holes on the sides than the Series 9, and that is because it has triple microphones with beamforming compared to the single microphone on the Series 9. So let's go ahead and test that. This is the microphone quality of the Apple Watch Series 9 in a normal scenario, and this is the microphone quality of the Apple Watch Ultra 2 in a normal room. Let me know what differences you heard, but I also want to test out in a noisier environment. So I have loud restaurant sounds opened up right here, and let's see how these compare. This is the microphone quality of the Apple Watch Series 9 in a noisy environment, and this is the microphone quality of the Apple Watch Ultra 2 in a noisy environment. Once again, let me know what differences you heard. Now, along with that, we have a difference in speakers. The Series 9 has a single speaker. You guys see that little slit right there, where we have this huge speaker grill on the Ultra 2, and it actually has dual speakers built in. So let's go ahead and do a speaker test. As you can hear, the Ultra 2 has louder speakers. Now, of course, you're not going to be listening to Crab Rave, but if you're taking a phone call or using walkie-talkie, it's nice to have the extra volume, especially in louder environments. And now I need to talk about the displays. We have this 45mm compared to 49mm. But if we actually look at the pixel sizes and the screen real estate, you don't actually get that much more with the Ultra 2, because the Series 9 actually curves around the edges of the display. So you have a thinner bezel compared to the Ultra, which has a thicker bezel all around. As you guys see, I just switched that picture there. But of course, a lot of the watch faces kind of hide that. Now, with the Ultra, you also get exclusive watch faces like this new Modular Ultra, and this thing gives you a ton of different complications built in, plus you have some other ones as well. So if you like to have a lot of info on your Apple Watch, well, the Ultra helps in that regard. Now, we also have a difference in terms of screen brightness. The Ultra 2 goes up to 3000 nits now compared to 2000 last year, but we were shocked that Apple put a 2000 nit display in the Series 9. That difference from 1000 to 2000 was huge last year, but this year, 3000, it is brighter, but it was just fine before. So that's a positive for the Series 9. And the last difference I want to mention about the displays is the durability. With the Ultra, you have a flat display and this edge actually protrudes a little bit, and that keeps it from cracking whatsoever. And of course, with the design of the Series 9, where the glass is bent around the corners, it can break really easily. Now, if you spend more money, you get the stainless steel version instead of getting the Ion X glass on the aluminum versions. You will get sapphire glass similar to the Ultra, and that makes it way more durable. But then of course the price goes up by a ton, and this is where I have to get into pricing. A lot of people will say that the Ultra is very expensive, $800, but the Series 9, well, you can get that for $399, half the price, right? Well, at that price, you have a smaller size and you have an aluminum model without cellular. So if you bump up the size, you add cellular, well, you're already much more expensive. And then if you want to go for a stainless steel for extra durability, you're at $750. And if you get a better band than the basic cheap ones, you're right there at $800. So you really have to consider what kind of upgrades you're gonna do and if you need cellular, because all of that's built into the Ultra 2, and then it might not be much more expensive for a product that is gonna last a very long time. So with that said, should you get the Series 9 or should you get the Ultra 2? Well, personally, even though I'm not somebody that's gonna go on crazy adventures, doing crazy sport things, I think the Ultra is a really great investment, especially if you upgrade your band from Nomad, because it makes it look much more classy instead of just a sporty watch. You get the better battery life and you get so many other great features built into it that it's almost like a no-brainer as long as you don't mind the extra kind of size and bulk. And personally, I just got used to it. You let me know what you guys end up deciding to go with. Go ahead and click that circle above to subscribe. Check out one of those great videos right over there. This has been Max, and I'll see you in the next one.